Welcome to the Urban Conservative Podcast. I'm Abdul Ali. Shouts out to my twin brother Raheem Architect Soto. Tonight we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. We are saddened to hear about the passing of Fernando Acosta Jr., lovingly known to many as Nando, former sergeant at arms for the New York Young Republican Club, and a strong conservative that worked across New York State to spread the conservative message. We had the joy of having Nando on the show some time back, and tonight we're going to flash back to that episode in memory of Fernando Acosta Jr. Rest in peace.
I met the brother at actually at Sultan's event, the fundraiser for anti-human trafficking. And I got to check out some of his Facebook stuff, and he's a very interesting brother. Has some interesting things going on out west, out towards the city. So you guys that follow us from out east and from North Carolina and things of that from other places, we getting ready to bring you guys into some more of that city vibe, into that city culture and the political climate for conservatives and black conservatives at that out in the city. So without further ado, we're gonna bring on brother Fernando Acosta.
How's
Peace
it
and
going,
love, my
guys?
brother. What's going on? Good, good.
It's
Glad to have
going.
you on. How's everything?
We're trying to survive out here. That's for sure.
Yeah, Corona is real out there in them streets. So what's the vibe like out there in New York? We'll just get right to that before we get into the
Oh, no,
interview.
absolutely. And that is definitely surreal. I mean, this is a city that, it's like we're used to seeing thousands upon thousands of peoples in the streets. So, I mean, it makes sense why we're like the number one pandemic with the way we run the city and the way the subway system is and the way, it's like I'm not shocked. I'm not completely shocked that we're number one. However, I would have been shocked if we wasn't number one. That's
Mm,
and that's saying that's
mm.
saying a lot. So, um, you know, you're gonna take it one day at a time. People need to be very. I think this is the perfect opportunity for humans out there to really just tap into their survivor instincts. I
That's
mean, this
that's
is
a fact.
that. I mean, the fact that there's people out there still depending on their government for resolving the answers. No, you have to question yourself. You got to question your family, how we're doing these things, how we're gonna adapt throughout this change. It's temporary. However, we still have to be focused on the end game.
No, that's a
So
certified fact. Yeah.
yeah, so that's what I'm encouraging everyone that I know and love. Just focus on yourself, focus on your health. I mean, this is the massive wake up call for when it comes to people of color, people Latinos, just people color in general. Just you see that the stats are not in our favor when it comes to this disease,
Right,
and
because of the underlying conditions, the pre-existing
of
conditions, the
course, of course,
diabetes, the hypertension,
we
the
have a
high
we have a
blood
history.
pressure. Right,
We
right,
have a
right.
history of that.
We all know this, so you're absolutely correct, my brother.
Yeah, so I don't have I still don't understand till this day how like reporters at the White House at the briefing. I don't know if you guys checked it out with the Surgeon General basically stating the facts. I mean, we're known for having preconditioned health conditions. We're known for the liquor and the smoking. So what when someone else brings it into attention, it's now considered as a racist terminology, and this is coming from a sister going against a brother.
Well, she made our what was it of the week? What was
Dummy of the
she?
week.
She was the
Oh, she's
dummy of the week.
definitely.
Yeah,
Oh, she's
Yamichi
glad to tell me.
Alcindor. Yeah, she was the dummy of the week for us because here's the issue. The problem for me was, and we're gonna double back, but the issue for me was why y'all didn't say nothing to Martin when he came out with a movie called Big Mama? Why y'all not yelling at Tyler Perry for perpetuating this? Like, why he didn't catch no? Why do they get a pass?
Absolutely. I mean, Obama had a whole rally at one of Hillary's rallies back in 2016, basically saying call Auntie Pookie and call your cousin Ray Ray. I mean, that's the same equivalent. So where's the shout out there?
And that's
Yo,
actually
you
worse
know what?
because
You know what
that
though,
hold
Ra?
on, but Ali, hold on. So for those of y'all that don't know, I am officially now a grandfather, right? And my desire
Congratulations.
was to not be called grandpa. My desire was to be called pop pop. So I'm like, I don't understand where they got any of this wrong. Who's offended? like
Yo,
I'm requesting no grandpa for me. I'm passing on grandpa. Like pop pop is where it's at, and Heather's Mimi. My that's we're not grandma and grandpa like that. But anyway, go ahead,
no,
Ali.
but I wanna throw something out there, and people were shocked,
first of all, a virus can't be racist. Okay, a virus doesn't have a brain. A virus doesn't discriminate. Last time I checked, I could be wrong. I just spoke to a medical doctor for the last 45 minutes. But one of the things I think is interesting that people don't take into consideration is the fact that a lot of our communities and urban areas are food deserts. So everything's coming out of a box, everything's frozen, or everything's fast. So, when we see hypertension, diabetes, high blood pressure, all these things, shouldn't be a mystery.
No, it shouldn't at all. And
No. Oh, go ahead, Fernando. No, you first. You first, please.
No, this is coming from a guy myself. I mean, I was a guy, like, I'll be honest with you guys, since we're going to share a portion of my life, might as well share this. I was almost at 480 pounds at one point in my life, and I dropped 200 pounds. I cut off 200 pounds just focusing on my health. And, who knew? Let's say, if I was still at that weight with what's going on right now, I probably won't even be here the way things are going right now.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that. That's hard work and dedication.
Yeah, but that's the type of thing that I want people to see, man. Like, it's definitely an opportunity out there to get your stuff together. I'm trying to keep it PG.
No, you can. It's all right. You can say that. We grown up on here. It's all right. There's the occasional when you saying it like that, it's okay.
No, but yeah.
So to kind of move into more the interview phase, let everybody at this point to see your name on the screen. Bring because I brought you on here because I met you as a conservative, and any opportunity we get to promote and support other conservatives that look like us, and it's not based on you having the skin color, but it's I instantly want to help. I want to support. I want to get you on. So tell people explain to people who Fernando Acosta is and how you got to the point to be conservative, and then we'll get into what you're doing with these organizations.
Oh, absolutely. So, of course, name is Fernando Acosta. I have a family descent of Dominican American, but honestly, let's be statistically and genetically, I do consider myself black, and that speaks Spanish with a Spanish background. That's all. When it came about politics, I was really into politics at a very young age. I was one of those weird kids that will stay up all night when it was an election season. So, for example, I stood all night when the 2000 election happened because I was like, wow, this is crazy. They still haven't called the race. And I got used to last time when freaking George, Bush. I got used to when freaking Bill Clinton won in the landslide again against was it Dukakis? No, it wasn't. It was against his Republican opponent during the re-election. So 2000 came about. I was fascinated with the Al Gore and George W. Bush. 2004, I stood late. 2008, I started getting involved in politics. So of course, I'm coming from an inner city, so the opportunities were really just opportunities just with Democratic campaigns. So at that time, I was literally going by the resume. So I went by. So I actually helped out the Hillary Clinton campaign back in 2008. And the Barack Obama campaign back in 2008. So I helped both parties. When Hillary lost, even though I was actually more for her, being that, at that time I was really focused on, wow, this person just has the charisma that I want to see in a president. And Barack Obama was just a newcomer. And then when Barack Obama won, I was doing more research. I started reading more. To the point that I ended up registering myself as a libertarian because during that time, back in 2008, there was this very significant person that kept killing it on the stage on the Republican side, and I just started admiring him, admiring his work. I started reading his books, and if you can't guess, at this time it was Ron Paul. So Ron Paul came into my life. I sound like a bad coming into a religion, but Ron Paul came into my life. I registered as a libertarian because he ended up not getting the nomination, and I ended up just voting libertarian in 2008, not voting for Barack Obama, even though Barack Obama was at a thriving moment. Everyone was for him, and I understood that. However, I just felt like I did my homework. I was reading up to stuff, and the way he was bringing into the argument of, hope, change, just you can, I personally felt like it wasn't enough because I wanted to hear more about issues and more about involvement that can really enrich our community. So, that happened. 2012 happened, and Mitt Romney became the nominee, and I was like, oh, at least he has good hair. At least, I can't knock him, bro. He got good hair for his age. He has good hair. But besides that, he's
money to do that for you.
that's also true. Very true. So that came about, and I wasn't for him at all. And again,
brother, is there a way you could turn your mic down just a little bit?
Sure.
Okay, just a tap because it's doing like a noise.
No worries.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, 2012 happened, voted Libertarian, and then the 2016 campaign came about, and I was like, "Whoa, Rand Paul's running. I like the guy. This guy similar as his father. Has the same type of books. Enjoyed his message. However, I wasn't vibing his campaign because it was a very long message. I don't know if you guys even remember. It was like destroy the political machine and watch. It was too long. It wasn't.
What? No, I don't remember this. Hold on. What? Oh snap!
It was like.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it was like repel or repeat. It was something like destroy the Washington establishment, but it was like such a long terminology that it would not win. And on the debate stage, I thought he was doing very well. However, then came about this guy that I actually admired since I was growing up. He was from New York. He was known to be a very charitable guy. He was known for building up New York City at a time of need during the 80s, which people don't even talk about that. And that was Donald Trump. So, here I am. This is coming from a guy that actually did his research. I'm not trying to say I just hopped on the bandwagon. This is a guy, I checked him out from the get-go. I wrote a thesis about him during my college years for business because, I do admire his business background. And here he comes running for president. And I'm like, dude, I can't believe Donald Trump is actually going to pull the trigger with this one. So he ran, and the way he was running the show, man, and once he annihilated my boy Rand Paul on stage, I was like, Rand, we ain't making it through with this guy here.
No.
It's true. It's true. He had that tone that America needed at that time, and it's not the hope and change. It's the tone of, look, we got to get our stuff together. The way the whole nation, the rest of these nations, they look at us, and we're piggy banks to them. They just lash off to us, and we don't benefit a lot from it. And you see that. So once that came and he became the nominee, it was him against Clinton. And Clinton, I already did my research. She was a horrible Secretary of State. I mean, you think she already had baggage when she ran in 2008, but between 2008 and 2016, oh my gosh, the amount of crap that she developed, it was a no-brainer. I just could not vote for her. It was funny because throughout my Facebook timeline, I found a post that I made literally 4 years ago in 2016 saying I could not support this one because of the research, and I broke it down. And I ended up supporting Donald Trump. The rest is history. Got very involved in the political scene in the local level because I thought it was time for people, to just show up and start to vibe. So, here I was at 480 pounds going to Brooklyn, joining the Brooklyn Young Republicans and doing action there, and then started involving myself to the New York Young Republicans to the point that the New York Young Republicans gave me the honor to appoint me as their outreach chair because, I think I'm a likable guy. And now I'm appointed by from the Black Conservative Federation as their state director.
We're gonna get into that. So basically, you had to do research, right? And that research, because that's something that we harp on here, is that and two things. I wanna thank you for sharing something personal like that, and because usually people want to come on platforms and it's about not doing that. It's the opposite of that. It's like I'm the most distinguished in the so when you share with about your personal life, that I think that takes a certain amount of maturity and strength and desire to serve people and help other people. So I commend that. Number two, my thing is so from what it sounds like you started looking at things and doing your own research, because what I didn't hear you say is that you heard something on the news or somebody told you, or there's you didn't mention like a mentor. Not to say there weren't any mentors. You mentioned Mr. Paul, but I'm saying it sounds like you actually said, "Let me observe what it is."
Yeah.
And then you kind of made your deduction like, this is where I'm at. I'm a conservative. Why? So your position's on the size of government. I'm gonna make the assumption that you want limited government. You want
Oh,
free
absolutely.
markets. You
Absolutely.
I mean, Ali.
Yo, and then not for nothing,
Mm,
Ra. I don't understand. And I lived in New York the first 20 years of my life, 22 years
mm-hmm.
of my life. I don't understand how you're for communism if you're from New York. I don't understand if you're for socialism if you're from New York. New York is the hustle capital of the world.
Absolutely.
So I mean, and one of the things, bro, I wanna make sure that I find it honorable in what you said, bro. A lot of times, if you're not getting your body in order, you're not going to be able to think clearly. And that's one thing that I appreciate about what you said is like, yo, I got to get me together, get my body together, get my thinking together. And those two things go hand in hand. So for those that have seen us say that, this brother right here is the living
just
proof.
confirmed it. And I'm gonna tell y'all know we don't do pre-interview questions. We have a general. We're gonna ask you about where you came from. We're gonna put. So these things come naturally. It's a natural conversation. So you mentioned the New York Young Republicans, and kind of paint, if you can, a brief picture of what the political climate is like where you're at. Because being a conservative, being a Republican, in liberal New York, right?
Yeah.
What is that? What is that like? What is that? What has that been like the last year or so?
Well, to be honest, you get very targeted easily. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not the first person out there rocking a mega hat in Midtown and rocking I'm not really that painter boy when it comes to that. However, when it comes to having a political conversation, all my friends know me as a very conservative guy. Um, People will call me either a libertarian conservative or Republican, and I just say, look, at the end of the day, I'm a Frederick Douglass Republican. Point period. Like from the reason why the Republican Party was started, because of we wanted real freedom, limited government, and really a limited government that's focused on the people. So when I'm in the city, it's I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I had a couple bar fights here and there because of my political views. Um, Clearly, you should see how the other guy ended up. Um, but at the end of the day, the people who are still involved with my life is because they know the person that I am, they know the heart that I have, and they know the mindset that I have. And if they disagree when it comes to politics, that's literally it. They just have a disagreement on that, but it's not encourage them to just shut me off completely or just disown me as a friend. So why I'm now a part of New York Republicans is I want to reach out to those young folks that does feel like they don't have a chance to really speak with others because of a certain political opinions, and that's why we have our socials. That's why we have our events. Is because not trying to use liberal terminology, but there it's a safe space, a safe haven for them to really interact with other people, especially in a city where our own local government are targeting Trump supporters every other day just because we believe in literally just a different ideology. We just don't believe in spending so much money. We do believe that if we have this money, we should spend it wisely and not use it against for programs that just doesn't work. Period.
Well, I'm glad you said that. So what is your take, right? A general take on the as a New Yorker to take on De Blasio and the job that he's doing for the city. Like,
Honest,
what honestly.
no, honest to God, I prefer a shoe running the show at this point because I think a shoe will do a better job being a mayor of New York City than De Blasio. I mean, this is a guy that every other week, I mean, every other day during his press briefing has been complaining about the president. I mean, we're at the point that even our governor is praising our president, but yet our mayor has still been pointing fingers and has been demanding constantly about federal funding. However, this is a guy 6 months ago that was saying we have enough money for the city that we can actually have universal health care for illegal immigrants. Now all of a sudden you don't have enough money to really deal with a serious pandemic, which we should have been really focused on these type of emergencies, is with the history that New York has with recent attacks and weather climates.
So my
Ross, stop. Because I just can't even. So for years the Democrats have just assumed the black vote. And when I say black, I mean us too, Hispanic, Latinos, the people whose freckles are as close together as ours, right? They've assumed our vote. And if y'all didn't catch what the brother just said, they want to give, and they're doing this in Chicago. Mayor Lightfoot is trying to do the same thing, is give people who have come to this country illegally the same benefits that citizens have. Now, you mentioned you was Dominican, right, bro? Our
Correct.
family is Puerto Rican / Venezuelan Indian / all of that
Yeah.
stuff in there.
So we're
And,
we're all the
funny
same.
part about it is that we have the pictures of our grandfather as a 6-month-old baby landing at Ellis Island. They had to come through Ellis Island just like everybody else. They had to pay their way, do their dues, just like learn English, just like everybody else. What's wrong with that?
I
And
don't
why?
understand.
What's wrong with us as black people saying, nah, you know what? We need to think about that.
I mean, look, my parents came in through the legal system. I mean, it was at a time where immigration was booming because Ronald Reagan was giving out green cards like it was hot bread. But she took that opportunity and did it legally. And now here I am, and I'm taking full advantage of the opportunities that I have. That's the thing about some Latinos out there. I mean, to be honest, a good portion does get stuck with the Democratic mindset, but we do see families that do get here, and the first thing they do is they try to get that bread. They're trying to build a foundation. They're trying to really provide for their family. Because at the end of the day, they know they're the best country in the world. They know they will never have this opportunity anywhere else.
That's a fact.
And people should really acknowledge that. And when we see people flooding in here illegally, and then people have the audacity to question us when it's time to question our household, because this is basically our household. We have stuff coming in that we're not sure. Why is it a problem? Because at the end of the day, we all have four walls. We're all sitting here by four walls. We're protecting our own homes. If these Democrats really believe in open borders, they should leave their door unlocked at this point.
Well, you know what? You know what, Fernando? It brings me back to that old like it's kind of a parable, not really a parable, but it's just like a saying, a story. It's like somebody kicks in your house, breaks in your house, eats your food, and you come home and somebody tells you you are now responsible to feed, clothe, and do the laundry for the person who's broke into your house. So they break into your house, you call the cops. The cops get there and tell you, oh no, it's cool, they can stay. And you got to give them your bedroom, and you got to make sure they got food, and if they get hurt in your house, you got to take care of it. So when we put it to them that way, the average person needs to understand that's the equivalent to what you're saying when you say give illegal immigrants the same benefits as now. Are we saying it's
no? Hold up. Don't even go there. But ladies and gentlemen, we're approaching that half-hour mark. If you are just checking us out, we are on the Urban Conservative with Fernando Acosta, who is the executive director for the Black Conservative Federation for the state of New York. Obviously, we appreciate the brother coming on. We've covered a lot of stuff, and we were just talking about illegal immigration. One of the things, Fernando, that I find interesting, especially about, and you can speak to this better than I can. I haven't lived in New York in almost 20 years, is this flip that people did on Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Now, I made this statement the other day, bro, because people always tell us Donald Trump's a racist. If you support Donald Trump, you're a racist, right? What kind of racist gets on a Method Man album? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So what do you think about this flip, especially in the black community, that we did on Donald Trump? Because like Donald Trump, everybody wanted to be like Trump. So what do you think about this flip that we did?
Honestly, it comes hand in hand with the media when it comes to this flip. Because honestly, 5 years ago, every black icon that was at the doorsteps at Donald Trump. They knew they have a guy to talk to when it came to Donald Trump. Trump was known for going into neighborhoods and just hanging out and being very charitable with people. He was actually voted constantly throughout the 90s as the most terrible guy when it comes to giving out to local communities. Again, you said it. He was in every rap album. He was in every other TV show. He was admired by millions, and especially in the black community. I remember seeing him chilling with P Diddy. Let's be realistic. He was there with P Diddy. He was hanging out with P Diddy. He was hanging out with Reverend Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. I mean, Spike Lee, which you know how Spike Lee is. So if Spike Lee is chilling with Donald Trump, come on, he can't be a racist.
Right,
And then
but now
all of a sudden,
let Spike Lee say it now, though. You know,
no,
Spike is a. I ain't
no,
gonna go there.
no, but he says it, and then you like, are you serious? Spike Lee really despised you? Guys, do a simple Google search. Do a simple Google search. You will see pictures of Spike Lee hugging Donald Trump like he met his best friend. And look, let's be real. Brothers like us, we don't hug people like that, or else we vibing with them, or else we have a proper vibe, and respect the brother. So when people say they just want to come across saying Trump is racist, I want proper proof. People will, and look, people will point out the Central Park Five, but no one talks about that. The Central Park Five, one of their chief police officers was also a black man that was informing Trump on all the information there.
Hmm.
People will talk about the Rent Stabilization Act. No, actually, Trump was dealing with the city government when it comes to welfare and how they were abusing landlords at that time. But no one talks like that. They will flip it and make it into a color issue. This is all coming from the media. So at the end of the day, I tell my brothers and sisters out there, do your research. Let's go back 5 years and just see how Donald Trump was with our people. There has been never, I personally, a physical or a verbal attack coming from Donald Trump to a person of color. I mean, I remember this one video from George Lopez basically saying, wow, you got golden name, you have like different kids from different baby mamas. You're basically a Latino, and to this day, I find that funny because it's because he definitely has the persona of a brother. He has his different baby mamas. He has his name in gold.
Yo,
So
yo,
we
Fernando,
tell
I was
people all
just
the
at the
time.
White House, bro, and let me tell
Yeah.
you something. That dude knows how to lay out a spread, bro.
Oh no, he does. I've been there before. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. Met the guy, shook his hand. He definitely has the. If you ever met him without the cameras, man, I'm telling you, the most down to earth guy. You could definitely sense he was coming from a New York vibe. And since I actually met it, it reconfirms that you know what, Fernando, all this research you did was worth it because this is the guy that's in the White House and you know he's getting the job done.
Whoa, did you catch that, bro?
Which one at the press conference?
No,
right now?
Rob, did you catch what he just said?
Oh, let me.
Yeah, you said something, and see, Fernando, we don't glide by bombs when they get dropped. I wish, yo, bro, we gotta work on
Ali,
getting
I'm
the
on mute.
Flex
I'm on
bomb
mute
thing.
for a second. I'm on mute for a second because of grandson. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Yo, listen, the man just said the research was worth it. So to all of us, to all of the people that are watching, I think it's too hard. Oh, I gotta read all of that. I gotta watch all of that. The brother just made it plain and clear that the research is worth it. Yo, one of the things I gotta ask you, bro, and we for those that watch know we try to keep this stuff organic. Being part of a Black conservative federation in New York, and I know you know obviously there's some issues that go along with that, but
Absolutely.
what has been your reception amongst Republicans in New York? You know, how, because we all could talk about the negative, but talk to the folks about the positive. What was your reaction coming into the Republican Party and being part of a conservative federation like that?
Honestly, as soon as I became a part of being a Republican, being a conservative, going to these meetings, I felt like I was open arms. I met people younger who are in the same age as me, who has this drive, who has this thrive in them, that just wants to change the world for the better. And I knew my heart was at the right place at that time. I started teaming up with these folks. I really consider them as family. They know who they are. I'm a part of a board of probably the most diverse group of individuals in the New York Young Republicans that are running the show right now, and we're getting recognized at a local level. Which, at the point, I actually reached out to the North Carolina Young Republicans, and we started actually having a great partnership from there. So we started getting recognized on the national, on the state level. So I know I'm doing the right thing right now. I mean, and that's why I was appointed by the Black Conservative Federation at the national team to lead the charge when it comes to Black conservative. Because at the end of the day, my goal is for all the Black brothers out there, or sisters, or Latinos out there who's in these liberal cities that has these conservative views. I tell them, period. Don't be afraid. If you want to run for public office, do it, because you have a team. You have a support team here that's going to back you up. That's going to tell you, look, whatever these people are saying, forget what they're saying. Listen to your heart. Listen to your mindset. Because at the end of the day, at our core, Latino people of color, we're conservatives. We're about protecting our family, protecting our country, and really thinking about real issues when it comes to America, which hence back to America first.
Well, I'm glad you, Ali, really quick. I'm glad you touched on that, right? How would we? Because again, a lot of the people that follow us, right? They come from different backgrounds. But what is the easiest way you found it to maybe get some of our Latino brothers and sisters, right? Because my children, some of my children are Dominican. Like, okay, so I know they're so Democrat, they don't even want to. You say Republican, they might not actually ever talk to you again. Like, they might not ever really talk to you. Like, I don't even talk to him. No. You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally.
So how do you? What are some of the things that you've done? Like, how have you found, like, trying to show them that y'all, because you know how it is with Hispanic fathers. They don't want their daughters having sex before marriage. That's super conservative. They want their kids to go to school and get an education. They don't want the government all in their business. But how do you explain, like, what do you do in the Latin community and in New York City? You know what I'm saying? Out there to kind of get that across to people.
Well, I just talk to them like any other person. I don't come in as a person that, wants to win their vote, or, I just come in there as a friend. You come in as familia, come in as real family. You sit there, have talks, if they're playing dominoes, you play dominoes. If they're drinking, you have a drink here and there, and you just start the conversation, and you talk about today's issues. And some of them, you give them proper reasons, like, yo, I think it's ridiculous that we're getting taxed up to the wazoo, and I don't see any results being taken place. And they will agree with you. They were like, yeah, it's rough. I feel like if I just had just a portion of my money back, I could really feel like I could open my own business. I could really focus on my family. And when I tell them that they have this conservative views, sometimes they're like, whoa, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I have to be a Democrat, my family, all that stuff. And no, it's like, no, it's in your instinct. You literally are agreeing with me. You think it's BS that they're taking money off, and they have all this money here, and they're not using it wisely. You think, and you agree that it's ridiculous that we have a congressperson that's been in the public office since the mid 80s and has done nothing as they promised when they first started running the show. So you do believe in term limits. So at the end of the day, question yourself. You're at the same team. You're just too afraid. And my thing is, you shouldn't be afraid, because look at me. You consider me as a good friend. I have a good heart. Oh, this terminology of Republicans are pure evil. You say that to Frederick Douglass' face. Say that to Madam C.J. Walker. These are all well-known Black Republicans that strive to be the best, and in order for us to take advantage.
Right.
Yo, shouts out, since he mentioned that, bro. I'm going to give a shout out to the Frederick Douglass Foundation. I got to give that shout out.
They're good people.
Yeah, I'm actually part of them. Yeah, Yisha and the team out there in New York. What's up? Hey, one of the things I have a kind of a kindred story with you in that, brother Fernando, is I thought the same thing. Now, where I'm at, down south, Cabarrus County, Kannapolis, North Carolina, I thought I was walking into the Klan meeting when I went to my first Republican meeting. But I found out people didn't care about my skin color. They cared about my values. They cared about, what I held to be dear. They cared about whether or not I was working and, all of the things that really actually matter. So I think that's something that, and as we interview and get to talk to more Republicans like yourself and young conservatives, we're finding that to be the case no matter where you go across the country. Republicans don't care by and large about your skin color. They just don't.
Well, here's the other end of the spectrum is you have down south, and how more white, rich, socialite elite can you get than where I live? And they so I mean I'm in the Hamptons. How do you get more than that? So you have the extreme of the South. I mean, and maybe he's not in like the bottom of Georgia, New Orleans, or something like that. But you understand what I'm saying? Like you have both examples here, and the Republican Party, shout out to the chairman, shouts out to everybody, on the Southampton Town GOP committee. These people are really really good people. I mean, I have story after story of just nothing but wonderful experiences and support with these people. So, and the funny thing is, it's always people who look like us that have the worst things to say to us and the worst advice.
Absolutely.
And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. They don't be doing that voting thing. And nobody, you should be. You vote Republican. You trying to get in with the white people. And that mentality is so sad, but it's frustrating and it's sad. You understand what I'm saying? Like I find myself mad, like I just want to grab some of these grown people and just shake them violently. Like, what is the matter with you? Like everybody's not like that.
Yeah.
You know?
And they didn't
so
accept
listen.
it.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. So really
I mean,
quickly,
right
brother.
now,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying right now the way Donald Trump has given us the microphone when it comes to just people of color, blacks, Latinos. He has I have never seen this, and when it comes to I would say any other politicians, to be honest, because this could have been the perfect card for Barack Obama to play once he was running as soon as he got into office to tackle these black issues. But you saw that coming from Donald Trump. When it comes to the job market, it comes to the Prison Reform Act, come with people getting raises left and right. Sadly, we have this pandemic from China. Let's be real. It's at the end of the day, this virus is coming from China. It is attack to our people, and this is why we're halting funds when it comes to WHO, because we pay WHO like we pay the United Nations to do proper research when it comes to these type of stuff, and they failed completely.
So you think the United States, we should defund, we should snatch our money out of the World Health Organization? You think we should defund?
Absolutely. It's a waste of money. Why we were pouring trillions of dollars when we're not getting the services back? Would you guys spend money and not for services that you're not properly getting? I won't pay $8 for a Netflix account that doesn't stream properly. That's me. That's how people should think about it.
Pay the $8. Pay the $8, and maybe it'll work. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So that's.
But I need you to promise me that $8 for 50 years.
Yeah. No. But week after week, we're getting news coming out that the WHO were aware of how the China outbreak was happening, and they didn't even acknowledge Taiwan when it came to the warnings. And now look where we're at now. People want to say it's Trump lied. People know at the end of the day, it was China that lied, and people were that, because if we had the information from the get-go, there would have been proper precautions that could have taken place. And at the end of the day, people will say, "Oh, but at the end of the day, this whole virus spread started coming from people who was coming from Europe in New York."
Right.
Europe and China. That is a fact.
Yeah. So here again, you question yourself. Wow, this guy that was talking about America first, let's focus on just being us. I think after this is all over, I think people are out of their minds if they're not with it of bringing more companies back to this country and really focusing on building our own country and really focus on infrastructure, creating jobs. I hope to gosh that Congress and the Senate pass this other bill that is focused on infrastructure, because that's one thing, people. And look, I'm a fiscally conservative guy. I don't want to spend. Honestly, I think we're spending too much money when it comes to certain bailouts, but that's a different story for a different day. However, if it's money that's going into providing direct job like infrastructure, construction jobs that will help us build as a country and develop more jobs after that, that's where we should be focused on, not pouring money to other countries that every other day they talk smack about us, they burn our flags, and talk about hating our country.
Right.
Yo, you know what I think is
Ali, real quick. So the brother Aldo Solores said President Trump called out China before he was elected.
Oh,
Now,
absolutely. He has a rich
now,
history of saying it.
yeah,
Rich
no.
history.
So I'm glad
China.
you said it. There's no. Listen, he's been doing that for years, and so have other Republicans. This is not news to some of us that have been paying attention to these type of things.
Absolutely.
You realize, like, you ask certain questions, right? And this is the
TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
I have to share this on the next couple of podcasts. I'll have to share later. But again, we always have a platform with us, my brother. And if anybody you think we should bring on the show and interview, please send them our way.
Absolutely.
And like I said, if we could be of any service, to let the people know again that donation link. How can y'all? It was
Black.gop.
black.gop. So make sure to get us that logo and get us all the logos for the organization, because we're going to be having a partners page go up on our website. And I can't wait to be announcing the launch of the Urban Conservative website coming up in the next like 2-3 weeks. We're gonna be launching the site. And we got a lot of contributors, some editorials, some videos. It's just I'm excited about it. So bro, with that said, Fernando, again, like my brother said, we really appreciate you taking the time out. I want to thank everybody that got in the comment section. We really appreciate you guys. Again, we want to remind you guys to practice the social distancing protocols, to stay in the house. All right. And if you need more information, please share this video. If you not if you need more information, if you can, please share this video. Host a watch party. We really appreciate that. It goes a long way. Bro, I'm done. I'm in the can. What you got, Fernando?
Before I leave, actually, apologies for the website. It's actually blackgop.us. So again,
okay. See, glad we called that. Blackgop.us. Ladies and
make
gentlemen,
sure you put in the comment section if you guys donate, to put it for the New York branch. That way, I'm aware that it came directly from New York. It gives me more force and to really get things going here for New York.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because one of the things we do, like, we have our little Cash App going there, and if y'all notice, like my brother says this all the time, we're not selling knives and magnetic wallets and phone chargers, and there's no sponsored by in the product. So we really appreciate the 5s, the 10s, the 15s that you brothers and sisters send to us. Again, it keeps us commercial free. It helps immensely keep us going. Even your comments, for those of you that don't send in Cash Apps and things of that nature, just getting in the comment section, I guess I could speak for all of us when I say that it does mean a lot. So reach out, get in the comment section, share these videos. Tomorrow we got a show coming up, and then Thursday we got a show coming up. So we got a busy week coming up. Next week we got Professor Giordano coming on again. So again, everybody stay safe, enjoy the rest of the evening. This has been the Urban Conservative, episode 43. We are up out of here.
Take care,
Peace.
guys. It's been real.
Peace.